and welcome to season 5 of my podcast. Today, my guest is Mishika Singh, a lawyer and the founder of Neev Foundation for Legal Aid. Her expertise lies in trademark law, human rights, women's rights, and access to justice. Hi, Mishika. Welcome to my show.
Hi, Vedant. I'm really grateful that you invited me. I'm very excited for this recording of and conversation of ours.
Yeah, even I'm very excited. Yeah, I've interviewed many lawyers before. Yeah, because even my dad's a lawyer.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, that's good to
Used to
know.
be a lawyer. So, Mishka, I know a little bit about trademark law from my interview with Justice Manmohan Singh. But I'm curious to know, what is legal aid?
So legal aid comes in when people are not able to afford legal aid in terms of getting a lawyer, in terms of knowing what their rights are, in terms of being able to access those rights. People can have different problems. The most important problem, the most prevalent problem that's there is not having money. Sometimes people don't have enough money to pay to lawyers, or they don't have enough money to engage a lawyer for their case. Even if they want to consult a lawyer on something has happened and they don't know whether they have a right or not, they don't have enough money to access a lawyer and speak to a lawyer. So in that case, legal aid comes in, and under the Constitution of India, legal aid is provided to certain categories. So that's what legal aid essentially is, basically aiding someone to access their legal rights in cases where they are unable to do so for whatever reasons, lack of awareness, lack of money, lack of resources.
What are legal rights?
Okay, so legal rights are something that are given to us, one, by the state, and two, the state has some acts because of which we can give rights to each other. For example, you and I entered into a contract to say, let's have this podcast. So I gave you the right to have my time from 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. And you gave me the right to, share the podcast, or share it with my friends, or use parts of it for my own organization. So we are giving rights to each other, which are also coming from the main rights which are given by the government under different acts. So legal rights are something that the state can protect, and we can also enforce them, saying that Vedant had asked my time from 4:30 to 5:30, but he did not come. Now what do I do? So I can go to court and say, okay, Vedant has sort of not upheld his side of the contract, and my legal right is getting violated. Some action should be taken. So that's what legal rights are, and the state is duty bound to protect.
Wow, that's complicated. I never knew what legal rights were.
Yeah, it's slightly complicated in theory, but otherwise, we have legal rights everywhere. Like we have legal right to education, we have legal right to clean environment, we have all these rights that are there. So in our everyday life, I think it's very common. We see it in very general form. These rights that are there.
What kind of cases generally come up for legal aid?
So my legal aid is, like you said, it focuses on the area of women's rights and human rights. So the kind of cases that we are currently doing right now for legal aid that come to us involve cases where the rights of citizens have been violated, in cases where the state has sort of failed to perform a duty. For example, there were riots that happened in Delhi, and a lot of people lost their shops and their houses and all of that. Now the state is actually it's duty bound to give you a right to life, and no one can come to your house and destroy it and set your shop on fire. But those things have happened, so it's violated the rights of those people who own those shops and those houses. So those are the kind of cases that we are doing. And in women's rights, we are doing a lot of cases where the husbands have left the wife, or are not giving enough money to the wife to sustain the household, or in very many cases where there's violence by the husband towards the wife. So in those cases also we help those women, and most of these women that we work with are not working. They don't have any source of income. They are not employed, so they don't have any money. So and they have been married, and their husbands are also not giving them money or any rights. So they come to us, and we try to help them to get some justice from the court.
And that's also legal aid, right? Like you're giving it to them for free.
Yes, that is correct. So we do it for the public good. So it's pro bono legal aid. I have my own organization. So through that organization, otherwise, like I said, legal aid lawyers become very expensive. And for someone who does not have a job, for someone who does not have the money, how will they pay for it? So that's why what we are doing is without taking any money, but just representing them because well, everyone should be represented and everyone does have a right to get what's right for them, get justice.
If a person, like example me, can afford to pay a lawyer, are they still eligible to seek legal aid?
So under our constitution, there's one article that is 39A that gives categories of people who are eligible for legal aid. So all women are eligible to legal aid, irrespective of whether they're earning, not earning, how much they're earning. People from communities like the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe are entitled to free legal aid. People whose annual income is less than 3 lakhs, is less than 4 lakhs, 3 or 4 lakhs, I'll have to confirm that, are entitled to free legal aid, and senior citizens with having their income less to 3 to 4 lakhs are also entitled. So there are categories given under our constitution which tell you who all can get legal aid. So it's not everyone who can get it, but yes, there are quite a lot of categories covered up.
So that means if I'm like a millionaire or billionaire, I can't have legal aid.
Well, if you are a millionaire woman, you can have legal aid.
Yeah, but if I'm a millionaire man, I can't.
Yes, then you cannot.
Why doesn't everyone have access to justice?
Okay, that's a fairly complicated question, but why doesn't everyone have access to justice is because a lot of people, one, they don't know about their rights. They don't know if something wrong is happening, that a right is getting violated. So they never approach the right authorities to get justice. For example, if let's say, when I do cases of domestic violence, we understand violence is physical violence, like hitting and all. But there are other kinds of violence that also may take place. So women who do not know about those rights will never be able to fight for their rights and therefore will not get justice. So that's one of the reasons that there's very lack of awareness about whether what is happening is right or wrong. For example, if some government school or some college denies admission to someone for whatever reason, saying that they're disabled or saying that, well, apart from the merit, if there's some other reason, some reason which is discriminatory against them, let's say it's their religion or their caste, now their right is being violated. But if they don't know it, they will never go to court and ask for justice. So I think the main reason which becomes a problem for accessing justice is that people don't know that their right is getting violated. The other one, like I said, is lack of resources. Sometimes it's just easier to let go of things than fight for your right. For example, if you buy a phone for rupees 20,000 and that phone, it sets itself on fire or it bursts while charging or something. Now, someone can file a case because their right is violated. They bought something and that has sort of not turned out to be what it was supposed to be. But when people think, okay, for a 20,000 rupee phone, I will have to get a lawyer, I will have to pay the lawyer fee, I will have to go to court, they just think it's easier to not ask for their justice. It's more convenient. So sometimes that is also the reason why people don't go for justice. And I think in the larger, more philosophical way, I think justice is more than just winning or losing a case. Sometimes someone can win a case, but still justice may not be done to them. For example, like in the case of job or something, or if some violence has happened, so the person who's punished may go to jail, but the person who's actually gotten injured, like their hand is broken or their leg is broken, for them justice is not that the other person gets to jail. For them justice is that they are able to reclaim their life back. So I think it's also philosophically at that stage where justice has different ideas for everyone. But in terms of legal justice, I think awareness and money are the two big problems that I can see.
Somebody who doesn't know that about their legal rights or about their rights or any justice, how do they get to know about that?
So one thing that we are doing to change that is provide legal education and legal awareness. That is some work that we do, and there are a lot of other NGOs who are also coming up, which work towards spreading awareness to just tell people. Now we have started working with colleges and schools also for students to know what their rights are. So I think in some way, legal literacy, legal awareness is getting a stronghold. People are trying to be more aware by providing such information and accessing such information. Another way that I see is, every information is available online. At least some part of that information, you can always Google things or find out that, okay, if this has happened, what can I do? That has happened, what can I do? But most cases, people whose resources are very limited, what do they do? How do they get? So they can always go to court, and there's a legal aid cell in every court, that is their district court, high court, supreme court. And over there, they can go and speak to a lawyer. If they can't go there also for whatever reason, then there are helpline numbers that are available on the side of all of these courts. They can call and get free legal advice that this is what has happened. Is it a right that's being violated? Can I do something about it? If I do something about it, will I get money? How much money will I get? So there are different ways in which people can be made more legally aware.
What are my legal rights?
As a child?
Yeah.
So especially as a child, you're also entitled to certain different protections. Like you're entitled to be protected from exploitation, or you're entitled to be protected from being forced to beg on streets. You are entitled to be protected from being employed in factories. So as a child, those different kinds of rights are also there. But as a child, you cannot particularly, get into a contract with anyone. Like you and I, as who we are, you cannot sign a contract till the time you are a major, till the time you turn an adult. So your rights are represented by your parents. You have a right in your parents' property. You have a right in your parents' assets. You have a right, in all those cases that are there.
Wow. And I guess when I'm an adult, I'll have even more rights.
Yes, and you'll also have more duties,
Yeah. Have you come across instances where you provided legal aid in trademark related issues?
So trademark work basically is for people who are in who have some trade, who have some business. So these are mostly people who do have some amount of money. So in most cases, there's no legal aid for trademark cases, but I did work with one of my friends. She's much older. She's around 50, 55 years of age. And she was working on this petition which said that, age should not be a criteria for discrimination. You know how we see, like, if there's a clothes brand, then all the models are young. If it's some ad on the television, everyone is young. We don't see representation of old people. So she had this petition called Age Not Cage. And in that, I helped her get a trademark done. That wasn't legal aid per se, but it was something that was done from the point of view of doing some good rather than just helping someone's business. So it wasn't particularly legal aid. Like I said, in legal aid, when it comes to business, it's a right that people can choose to do right now or can do it later when they're making a profit. So it's not like someone is in a very dire situation that they need help. But this was for a good cause. So that is some work that I did with that friend of mine.
That's so kind of you to help her. Can you share some success stories of the legal aid work that you do?
Oh, yes, that's my favorite thing to think about on days when I'm feeling bad. And, the days when my work is not keeping me happy. So it's something that I do like to talk about. Like in one of my cases, the husband and wife had gotten a divorce, and the husband had said that, okay, I will give you 4.5 lakh rupees as settlement, that, okay, this marriage is over. Now you can use this money to start your life. But what happened was that girl approached me, the wife approached me, and the wife had a daughter who was 7 years of age. And she wanted to make sure that the daughter gets something because, the child is both of the husband and of the wife. It's not just one person's responsibility. So in that case, the husband was saying that, okay, I will give 100 rupees per month for the next 5 years, and that should be fine. Now, 100 rupees per month was really less. But I managed to get her 1,000 rupees per month for the next 7 years. So that, the girl was 11 years old. So for the next 7 years means till the time the girl ends up being 18 years of age. So till she becomes an adult. So from 100 rupees for 5 years, we got it to 1,000 rupees for 7 years. I think that was one of the best cases that I did. And the wife was also really happy that at least the child's future will be somewhat secure. At least she'll have some support when she wants to go to college.
Yeah, it's so nice to hear that the child is now happy.
Yeah, the child is.
Good job.
Thank you so much.
What are the challenges you face while providing legal aid?
I think the biggest challenge that we are facing right now is that my organization, it does not have any funding. So there's no one giving any money right now. We have gotten people to donate who have seen our work and they have donated saying, okay, you are doing some very good work. So we would like to give you some money. Or if I've helped people, then they give some money. Sometimes they give 500 rupees, sometimes they give 5,000 rupees. But the biggest challenge is that we don't have any steady, funding. So what we are helping people is from whatever we get. And right now we have some 6, 7 people who have been working together for the last more than 2 years free. No one's getting any money, no one's getting any salary. Everyone's doing it because they want to help the society. So all of us have our work and our jobs, but we are doing this with our own money and trying to make a difference. So I think that will become a problem because it's not something you can do long time. Eventually you have to be able to do things from which you get money, or at least you don't have to spend money. In this case, you also end up spending money from our pocket, like going to court, coming back from court. If some application has to be filed, and the photocopy and then the scanning and all of that. So I think that's a big challenge that we are facing. But hopefully, if we keep doing good work, people will realize that we're doing some good work and give us some money to do that work. So yeah, that's the plan.
How does one donate?
We have a website where the link to donate is there. We have a bank account for which you can do a bank transfer. There's a UPI system that is there. So we've set up all of that. The only thing that we don't have right now is any contribution from outside India because the NGO is only 2 years old. We don't have a foreign license where we can take money from outside India. But within India, anyone can donate the same way. And how you can pay by card, you can pay by UPI, you can pay through Paytm, you can use any of these, or you can do a bank transfer. It's quite easy. You can give a check also. So within the country, it's quite easy.
Dear listeners in India, please donate to.
Thank you so much, Vedant. I'm pretty sure after listening to you, they will. Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
And even listeners outside of India, please support Neev Foundation's work. What made you choose to do the work you do? What did you want to be as a child?
As a child, till class 10th, I wanted to be a doctor. Then I realized maybe I don't want to be a doctor. But the idea was that I want to help people. So then I decided I want to do journalism, and then I will tell stories of people and help them in some way. But then I studied journalism. But I didn't continue with it because I realized that it's not as easy to be able to publish the stories that you want to talk about. So that's when I decided to do law, where I'll actually be able to help people and bring about a change in their lives. So when I did law at that time only, I decided that I will do a job for some years, but eventually I want to do my own work where I'll be able to help people directly. So I think since the beginning, the idea was to help people. First, I thought I'll do it as a doctor. Then I thought I'd do it as a journalist. Finally, I'm doing it as a lawyer.
That's such an inspiring story. I'm so happy you're now doing what you wanted to do.
Yes. And that makes me very happy as well, that I'm actually doing what I want to do. I get up every day and I want to do the work that I do. So that's a good feeling.
Even I want to help people.
That's really nice. One day when you have a law degree, then we can talk more about what we want to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the future, in a few years.
Yes.
What are your hobbies?
I read a lot. Earlier, when I used to travel by public transport, I used to read all the time. But because now of COVID and all, I have to drive myself. So now I listen to books. That's something that I do. And I paint a lot. I find time to just paint everything. So my house is full of canvases that are just painted here and there. Just arts and craft really entertains me a lot. And if I have the time, then I like to travel.
Yeah, even I like reading books a lot.
Yeah, what are you reading right now?
Right now, I'm almost done with the fifth Harry Potter book.
Oh, nice. Are you enjoying those?
Yeah, I am.
I remember I was around 8 or 9 years old when the first Harry Potter book came. I was in school, and in school for summer vacations, we had to do these book reviews. And Harry Potter was one of the books that we were given, and that's how we all started reading it.
Yeah, I like Harry Potter.
It's nice, yeah. We just finished. We were doing a movie marathon, so we watched all the movies from the first one to the last one. Very recent. Yeah.
For me, how I do it is I finish the book, I watch the movie, move on to the next book, finish that one, and watch the movie.
Yeah, that's nice. That's quite nice. In fact, I'm reading a book right now called Normal People. And I think there's a series on that also. So that's my plan. I'll finish the book and I will watch the series or the movie that's there. I haven't seen it yet. But after the book, that's what I usually like to do.
Yeah, even I like listening to podcasts too.
Yeah, that's nice. That's something I want to get into. I've tried a couple of times, but it's not a habit that I've been able to inculcate as of now. But hopefully, I will soon.
And that's how I got the idea to start this podcast by
That's
listening to podcasts.
quite a brilliant idea. When I was quite impressed to know, and then I went over your podcast. So it was quite great.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on my show.
Thank you so much for having me, Vedan. I'm really glad that you reached out and we could have this entire episode. It was really good speaking to you, and I'm really looking forward to all your new podcasts.
Thank you. And congratulations for all the great work you've done and doing. And good
Thank
luck.
you so much. Thank you.
Dear listeners, follow my Facebook page, Curious Vedant, to get updates on my upcoming episodes. To listen at leisure on your phone and get notified about future episodes, subscribe by searching for Curious Vedant wherever you get your podcasts, such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and many more. You can also listen to my show on curiousvedant.com. Thank you for listening to Curious Vedant. And don't forget to rate and leave comments